Namaste. Today is Friday, August 28th. And we're ready for another session. And then we will take a couple days break on the weekend. We've decided weekends we need to have some time off and replenish. Yeah. So we're going to take weekends off. And I think we're ready to begin. I think we got maybe one problem child in there. We'll see.
It's potential.
A potential.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
Sometimes as they sit here with the energy, things change. We don't know. So
anyway. Hopefully they hear enough that they can change before we get to them. But we'll see. That's all we can say. We'll see.
All right. Well, let's start our day with. It's a nice, pretty rock. I just kind of want to show you the rocks we're working. Is it my hand going the right way? I can't see my own hand. But it's pretty. It's clear with a little kind of golden on the edges there. And okay, so single heart, single mind. Okay, so do you have any questions for us today? I think at least what I'm hearing is what brought both of us to the path. Let me reflect that back. Or what, I think in general, what breaks someone down enough to bring them, how does that process happen for some and not for others? To, someone that would walk a path of, more surrender and kundalini. I mean, why do some not and, some do?
Why do some walk the path of kundalini and some other paths?
Well, I guess it's kind of like, why does, now I'm kind of feeling some of those kind of austerity kind of practices, or not practices, but paths that are so hard, and kundalini being one. I mean, why would some kind of awaken there and go in that direction and not others? What's the difference between that?
Yeah, I think part of it, I know in this life I went through a lot of lifetimes with a lot of heavy suffering, a lot of pain, a lot of trauma. And also, wanting to progress the quickest way I could to know God, to know what is. And so when you've had a lot of trauma, it's in a way a left-handed blessing, because then you're ready to surrender, totally, to surrender. And I think because at that point you can understand more the path of Christ. My own existence, I asked to walk that path. And you understand his surrender and his walking in his pain and the temptations he went through and all of that. It's just something more familiar. Something more familiar.
Making sense. Let me ask if that's, I believe that's it. I mean, kind of asking about mine, but, all that I can say is similar in terms of a lot of suffering and, asking to aid humanity, or being, I guess, in the way I asked it was being used for humanity's sake. I mean, I don't want to say anyone else to do that. I had no idea what that meant. And that just came, I think these things are just, when they're ripe, they come. And from whatever past practices and heart-opening work of many, many lives. And, that's what, just kundalini, lots of manifestations and phenomena, and, that kind of rose out of that heart-opening and desire to aid humanity, but also to be out of suffering. So I didn't really know what was going to come. I didn't know. I didn't have that kind of foreseeing at all. And I'm glad I didn't. It hasn't been easy. Yeah, I had no idea. I really didn't know what I was doing with all that and what that really was going to mean. So anyway.
I think different people are called to different paths depending on their energetic makeup and things as well.
Sure, absolutely.
You know, and Kundalini is not only a Hindu thing, it comes through a lot of paths. There are a lot of contemplative nuns and things that have Kundalini awakenings. It goes through the Holy Spirit, one could say the Holy Spirit. So it runs like a thread through a lot of paths, the Sufi paths, other paths. But I think each is drawn, you know, according to their nature and according to their past experiences, what would best serve to move them forward to the light of God. That's all.
Mm-hmm. And they're saying thank you. I mean, they just, you know, they wanted to know. I mean, maybe they're just beginning to kind of listen and, you know, they don't really know where they're at totally. They just wanted to start kind of listening and learning.
Yeah. All you have to do, you know, the main thing is just to be sincere in what it is you're seeking.
And honest.
And honest and sincere. If you want to know God, then that's what you put out there. If you want to aid others, that's what you put out there. No matter what it is your heart's desire is, then, you know, but don't be surprised if it turns out to be a very difficult road.
That's the thing. I mean, you know, be open to, you know, you don't know, and maybe a really long thing and maybe shorter. Exactly. I mean, no one can say, but just to be open and not have any, I need it this way or that, because, you know.
Because you don't always know the lessons that you need in order. If you're going to aid humanity, you're going to have to do some very hard lessons, because unless you understand what they've gone through, unless you have had that experience, you cannot give them aid.
And they're saying, wow, thank you for saying that, because it sounds like a big responsibility.
It is. It's a huge responsibility. Not everybody has to take that path, but when you do, just understand that you're in for a very rough ride, and you will have some very, very hard lessons to go through in order to have the clarity to aid and guide others. That's it. It's not a fluffy, you know, yellow brick road.
And I'm seeing a fire. I mean, they're kind of saying like a fire burning. Almost with me, this, you know, I'm just here, but it's encompassing my body, kind of burned your body, mind kind of thing.
Yeah, it burns the body and mind. It burns away the dross. It does. Yeah. It's like the Bible says, it refines the gold. And to refine gold, you have to burn away all of the things there that are not gold. Mm-hmm. So all the impurities have to be burnt out. So, yeah.
And they're saying intense.
It's very intense, yes.
Yes, it is. So it is something to just, you know that it's not a soft, cushy road. It's, if you want that, then that wouldn't be the way. Maybe just stay grounded in more just regular stuff.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think, well, if I'm on the path to know God, that everything should be cleared away from me, and it should be loving, and that I shouldn't have any troubles in life, and everything should be just swept clear for me because I'm so loved. No, it's not. Not the way it is. No,
you don't know all the past stuff that needs to be cleared. No one knows that stuff.
Exactly. All the dross has to be burned out. All of the impurities have to be burnt out. So
things you're not even fully aware of. So it's a time process, you know.
Yeah, many lifetimes.
Yeah, but just, you know, it's good you're asking the question and getting clarity. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Namaste.
Next in the lineup. This almost reminds me of that other little rock yesterday. Yeah.
And she's still
I was wondering
in there. Yes, they're still hanging in there.
They love that rock.
They love
I can feel behind me a little beam coming out of that rock.
She's still in there, yeah.
Happy as a little clam in that. So.
Just playing and having a good time at the moment.
Just beaming right now. That sounds nice, huh? Okay, so. I'm kind of seeking clarity and guidance. I'm just seeing something there that's stopping this soul, maybe a wall or something. And it's hard to, it's just coming in imagery like that, like, they're here, or maybe there's even, it's something dammed up or something stuck there. Yeah. And there's kind of light here, but they're kind of, they're just jammed up there.
Maybe what is their understanding of truth? Let's start there. And what's the last experience they remember?
Time passed. I was a girl. I think they were pretty happy with things. I don't see that they're unhappy, but some kind of turmoil happened, though. Maybe they were kind of innocent and something took that a little, or darkened that innocence of that, child with that wonder and things, and they retreated or something, away from being fully open.
Right.
Just my sense. And so now, but in terms of whatever their practices or what they've done, I'm just feeling a little lost. They're feeling a little lost, like prayers, maybe some prayers, praying for my soul.
Okay, your soul is just fine. First off, the soul is just fine. The soul is untouched by any of the things that happen. What gets touched is the mind and the experience in that time. So I'm taking it that some innocence was lost through some perpetrator.
Boy, I just see kind of this light, like a youthful thing, then darkness coming in. Maybe some abuse, possibly.
Yeah, some type of abuse or something.
I mean, that was just the feeling of it, and then I heard abuse, so I...
Right.
Something happened. Maybe when she was young, too.
It could be when he's young. So what one has to come to is to a forgiveness and a compassion for the ones that have done these things. And that will free you. They're driven and they're in a hell realm of mind to be able to do that.
Not their fault, question mark?
Well, they're driven. They're in a hell realm, driven to do these horrid things.
And I am hearing, but they hurt me.
Yeah, I understand they hurt you. But you can be wrong. No, I know, but you can be free of it. But you have to see that they are equally in suffering to be able to do the things they did. They're in a hell realm.
I do see kind of again some bars and a cage kind of opening. There is some.
Yeah.
It's not fully light though.
Yeah, no, not yet. It's they're driven to do what they do, and they will remain in a hell realm. And then for that, you have to, see it with compassion that you have a chance to be free of it, because you've done nothing wrong.
Should I pray for them? They're saying.
You can pray for them. And just develop a compassion and understand that, they are in a hell realm. Nobody does that out of clarity of mind.
No. It wasn't my fault. They're kind of wondering.
Yeah, not your fault at all. Absolutely not. It's not the fault of the one that's being abused. And, they'll try to make it your fault. They will tell you it's your fault, but it's not your fault.
Okay. Because I was innocent.
Right. And you can take your innocence back.
And that's what they want.
Right. You can take that innocence back. But to take the innocence back, you have to have compassion for them and let loose of that so that innocence can return.
And I do see a white flower, just kind of came in my mind. It was just beautiful white and clean and clear opening, and maybe like a lotus.
That innocence is always there. It's not touched.
And then the darkness was around it though still, but this flower, kind of maybe coming from her
it's starting to bloom.
Just kind of saying I understand, and that's what I am at heart, that purity, that.
Yes, you are that purity at heart. That purity is never touched, just the body is touched. And when the body is touched, then the mind is touched. Okay? But that purity can never be touched.
No, my spirit's still here, she's saying. So yes. It didn't take my spirit.
No, it can't touch your spirit. So let go of the rest of it. Come back to the spirit, not the experience.
There's more light, and there was a cage, the bars are open, there's more light, and I'm seeing that blooming of that beautiful white flower of some understanding. I mean, there is still some darkness, there's work, but...
Right.
So is there anything to suggest for this? Or do you want me to just...
She can do the prayer, the Our Father, which art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever.
Beautiful. That's just what you're saying in there.
Yeah.
And there is that flower there, and really flowering, really enjoying that energy of that prayer. And that seems to suit, this particular energy.
Yeah. So just continue to remain in that prayer and go into the purity of it.
And they're saying gentle, and they like the gentleness of it.
Yeah.
It's not accusing or feeling this or that for any particular, and they like that. Oh, okay.
So, Namaste, thank you for coming.
Yeah. Nice one, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Onward. This one.
Yeah.
It's nice. Nice substantial stone.
Nice.
Yeah. They are saying no big ego, though.
That's good.
Just to let us know.
Big stone, no big ego.
I think kind of saying I'm not here to challenge, and I hear old stuff residue sometimes. I just need to mother or something. I don't know if it was something about his or this one's mother or mother, and then they say G. So I think they were going to go with the Ganga thing, then they kind of changed that to G in terms of washing his being clean, and I did see that image of the Ganges, maybe just flowing. And...
So now I'm Mother G?
No, they kind of changed it. They were going to say Mother Ganga, and then they said
Ganga.
G, because they know that kind of shifted there. That's not where you... Mother G, that's kind of...
Mother G.
Mama G.
Mama G.
And they are laughing, but I do see that image of the Ganges, or not even that, but flowing waters, rushing, like just wanting to have that come through, and see someone by the water, maybe doing some kind of rituals by the water, floating things in the water.
Right.
In terms of those leaves,
Yes.
And things and offerings, I guess.
Offerings that they put,
And that's what I'm seeing. Just that image, and maybe this is kind of a devoted kind of person, Maybe felt more like a server or devoted or that kind of thing. Because I see some prayers being done by the water too. So I think it's just sort of one that's been in that devotion.
Right.
And still, I think kind of aching in a way, like aching for others, and still has their own suffering in there. So they just, how to... So what questions do you have for us? They would like to join the water more, kind of, not be outside and doing all these things. They kind of want to just go in there and dissolve, or,
right.
wash that whole past away, or, I don't know.
Have they done the Gayatri mantra? Are they doing the Gayatri?
It does seem to be familiar. The energy of that, and as you say that, for this soul, and especially the feeling feels a little, I don't want to say they're in India, but I just, it's got a little feeling, and I don't know, I don't make it this or that, but that particular mantra does seem to, and I'm kind of seeing the mantra in my mind now, it's kind of, I think they've heard or had that energy, feeling of that energy, and they're very open to that. It should be.
Yeah, they can continue to do that mantra and just do the Om.
I hear the mantra kind of coming. I don't know where it is coming.
Yeah, and then they just sit there, and you can sit by that water and open your heart and let it feel that water coming through to cleanse that.
Yeah, it's coming up in what is it?
And he can do the Om that I am, watching the water, Om that I am. And open the heart to that Om that I am, Om that I am, Om that I am. And the Gayatri Om Bhurabhava Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhagavad Devasya Mahidi O Yona Prachodayat. We can continue to do that, and Om that I am. Om, Om. Yeah.
So what I, kind of saw was the water, and then that offering floating, but then that energy's, there. I mean, you can feel it kind of moving through, almost like an offering to all as well as himself. Yes. Like a, in terms of it not being, me giving or something giving, but it just kind of coming through as that one energy, I guess.
Yeah.
And just, it's a nice feeling. So his or her way of saying thank you is that, that offering floating.
It could also do the COS. Candle. Could also do the COS. That would also be good for him. And
they say she says this is being transmitted to him now, and you don't have to. Thank you so much. So that one's out there and gets out there quick.
Has a few things to do.
Yeah.
A few practices to pull them through. Yeah.
I'm sure those will be just right. Right, moving right along. Let me just show you the little rock. Another little one, but we never know. I think I'm just kind of hearing galaxy. I don't know if this one's more interested in, cosmic consciousness being more open like that, I guess, reaching that unity. So I'm seeing some planets and things, and I think also maybe needing a little grounding because of that. Yeah. That gets big, and I know that because it can get big, and I think I'm kind of seeing some wanting little rooting because that's a big thing that they've kind of nourished or whatever, and it's they need to be more bound. I'm seeing the earth, more grounded. I know, I'm just hearing that maybe they are moving to the earth. They are coming into another form. I know we've worked with that kind of thing before. So the earth is there, they're coming there, but they got this cosmic, big kind of consciousness, and maybe even a little, I don't know. But anyway.
Maybe they have to come into a little nature's tree, as a redwood tree or something, for some heavy grounding.
Oh, wow. We'll see how they take that. Okay. That would be nature, because it sounds like they're getting to enter that gate where they're going to be reborn.
Yeah.
I mean, boy, should I put that out there?
Go ahead.
Consider being a tree?
Yeah, consider going into redwood. Absolutely. I mean, that's serious grounding.
Hardy with roots.
That's very, very
and they can
heavy
be
grounding.
There under the stars with all
exactly.
the beauty
the
there,
redwoods,
the cosmos.
Yeah, the redwoods grow very, very tall, and you still have that connection with that. Yeah.
With the earth. Interesting. Because
yeah.
I did see the earth and roots into
that
it,
would
so
be
that
very,
almost
that's
might be just right.
About the heaviest rooting.
Right, and as you're speaking, I do see that trunk and, kind of rooted to that earth, though, and I think they're quite fine with that.
Yeah.
So they're kind of drinking that in and going, to land on Mother Earth, and, maybe, and I'm just seeing a little seed and coming as that, and I think that sounds just right. They didn't know. They needed grounding. They didn't really care if it was whatever form,
right.
I think.
Right.
But they're zooming there.
They're going to treat him.
And, I do see, like, the earth, and then I do see the roots in the earth, and then the big, like the planet Earth, but the big,
right.
The trunk, and
very substantial, very substantial.
Ancient.
Right, they're very ancient.
They're not going to die, really. They're ancient.
Yeah, they're going to be there for a while.
And they're quite fine with that, and they know they'll have friends there with their other little redwood, big redwood trees.
Big redwoods, yes.
So they're not alone. And it's all one consciousness anyway, so he's so cool.
Consciousness is all one. There's consciousness in all living beings. Trees are also living beings, so absolutely. If he wants really heavy grounding, that would be a good grounding, and it's the tree also is giving back to the planet. The oxygen, etc. So it's
and that's
double duty.
People don't always expand there, but I mean it's no different in so many ways.
Exactly. He would have more of the lesson of just rooting versus a lot of other external lessons going on around it. Yeah.
Hey, I mean, that sounds pretty good to me. I'm talking as myself. It wouldn't be a bad thing, right? I mean, just kind of there and
just be
soaking
there
it
and
in
rooted
and helping just by being there.
Exactly.
So what a great, great next manifestation that he's heading towards, and he is kind of saying, "Namaste."
Namaste.
He's on there, man. I can feel him going.
He's on his way to treat him.
Yeah, treat him. Treat him rocks.
Treat him!
Exactly.
Oh.
Coming. All right.
Freedom for some is treat him, I guess. So.
That'll be the next bumper sticker, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Treat him.
Treat him.
No. Freedom and treat him. There we go. All right, moving right along. This is our next.
Never did I think in a million years that the guidance would become a tree.
Well, it's just that really sounds good, and the more we talk about it, it really made that one. He was fine. She, and this planet will only be more blessed with that kind of thing.
Exactly.
All right. Okay, so let's see what this one is here. I do feel some darkness in this energy, and this is what I was kind of picking up before.
Right.
So we'll take its time to. It's dark. I don't know if it's a good energy. I'm feeling a little more of that kind of, the other energy we're talking about, not so good. Seeing that image come. Yeah. I don't think it's a good one.
We are not going to deal with you. I'm sorry if you don't care here for a beneficial purpose, if you don't come for light, if you don't come for truth, if you just come to do disruptive, then you have to go. I'm sorry, you have to go. You have to go. Okay.
Feeling better already? Okay. Moving right along. Moving right along. So not much more.
It's gone.
Okay.
He's left.
That was pretty quick. Good.
That's
I mean,
pretty quick.
We want to nip it in the bud quick.
No, we're not. You don't entertain it. If something's coming with a dark spirit and they're not coming for any good purpose, then you don't even entertain them at all.
Right.
You just send them on their way and leave them to their, again, that either they will eventually fall so hard that they seek the light, and if they don't seek the light, eventually they will be reabsorbed.
Right.
So, but
we're
there's
not going to put up with it.
No, no. We're not trying to save the dark energy. They don't want to be saved.
No,
they don't want to be
that's just here to disrupt and
exactly.
make
They just
twist.
Exactly, and we're not going to. We don't play that.
No.
So they need to just be on their way. So that was it.
That'll get more and more cleared.
Yeah.
So. Okay, we're moving along, and this is our next one.
Mm-hmm.
I like this one with the little coloring on the top.
Mm-hmm.
And right away I hear mocha. Chocolate mocha.
Mocha.
Well, it looks kind of that way. Mocha cappuccino. I don't know.
Oh, you're
like
bad.
With frothy foam and just
oh my God.
Steam.
Oh, they're bad.
Steam. They're wanting to share that wafting.
Yeah, thank you.
Lovely
thank you.
fragrance.
Yeah, thank you
They're
for
like
that.
I've
been without coffee now for a week and dying.
No,
so
I know. We just want to kind of give it to you. And here's the steam and the fragrance. I can feel the warm cup in my hand. You know, it feels so good, and then you get a little bit of foam on your lip, and anyway. But they almost feel like they're that kind of. I mean, I hate to be, but they're kind of saying that's kind of them. I mean, they make people feel good.
Okay.
They warm them up. They give them that first kind of taste.
Okay.
No, I know it's silly, but that's kind of what they're saying,
Okay.
And I see some icy cold, and they're warm, and they like to do that for people. They like to make them feel good.
People pleasers.
A little bit, I think
kind
they
of
are.
a people pleaser.
And so then they came with that, and I think that's what they're. I'm sorry.
Some of the images are great.
They are, because I can still see that foam on. How you get it on the top of your lip if you got a lot of foam, because I love foam.
Yeah, the foam is good.
Oh, anyway. Okay, so let me ask what kind of questions you have. And they are saying you're right with the people pleaser thing, and that has been. I think they're ready to shed that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, because
they're saying, "Hey, people love coffee, but I need to move on."
But you need to move on. Yeah, you can't move on if you're always making everyone else happy. You like I said, you can't make everybody happy. And if you try to make everybody happy, then you lose yourself. You lose the salt. If the salt has lost its flavor, what good is it?
And then I get the image of like him himself drinking that coffee. He needs to
exactly
do that for himself.
He needs to do that exactly. He needs to stand up and for his own truth and for his own path, and not put everybody else first. Because then he has no time to walk his own.
Yeah, and that's a kind of man he's been, and it's depleted him.
Exactly.
It's emptied. I now see the cup empty. He didn't have that coffee to drink, and he gave it away so much that he didn't have it. His cup was empty. Right.
And that's what can happen. If you just give to others and give to others and give to others, and you get nothing back, that's what happens. You get depleted.
And I am seeing a doormat. Like maybe he's kind of been a doormat, and people could just rub, dirt off on him, and because he just never fought back or put boundaries up, or and it left him with that dirt of other people trying to, wipe their feet on him.
So people think that the best path is to always be that, and it's not, No, you have to stand for truth. You have to stand for truth. And you just can't let people always walk all over you and use and abuse. Right. That's not the spiritual way to go.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of other people's footprints on him.
Exactly.
And he can't do this anymore.
No.
he thought, and you were saying this is kind of a loving heart. Someone
Exactly.
loving might do this because I see a heart. This is, what I believed as a way of caring for others, to use me. And
right. And there's a lot of that in some of the Buddhism paths and stuff where they have that type of a mentality, and it's not beneficial. Yeah. One has to stand for their truth, and they have to stand, in the light, and not just always give everything away from yourself and you have no self left. So, yeah.
And that's what's happened to this soul. He's he's sweet in his heart, of course.
Yes, of course.
How does he revive his own soul? He needs to fill that cup up himself, so he has some strength and not be, he feels just kind of open to other people's feelings, all that stuff that has just consumed him and really depleted him. And what to do.
I want him to just within himself say the I am that I am.
Now or
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and as an ongoing thing.
I see that energy moving into his being. And it feels almost like for him, and this is my feeling of kind of like it's giving him back, I guess, a little bit, because it feels like I am that I am. I'm
exactly.
My own, not in a bad way, but
not in a bad way.
My own, I guess, a little bit. I can take myself back.
Exactly.
And he likes that a lot. Yeah. And he does want to say, he's kind of offering you that mocha. To say he loves, it just feel good, and, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Namaste.
I'm just saying what comes, I mean, I don't know. Image is like a doorway that leads you to really put together the puzzle of that being. I'm sorry. Anyway, it is entertaining. Okay, next. So, we're moving on to
another Shiva Linga.
This one has a nice feeling to it. Just a feeling of non-duality with this energy. Like the books, I'm seeing the non-dual scriptures kind of dissolved. Maybe they did a lot of reading before, but it is coming into an embodiment, a richness. I guess because of this chocolate color, but I mean it's an earthy rich, coming into more richness. I don't feel like they've completed, but that it is beginning that process of embodying, the non-dual consciousness, and I guess they did. That's just sort of their way of showing that.
Right.
It's becoming rich.
Good.
And so what questions do you have for us today? I don't know. I see 0. And maybe they're saying that's kind of where they know to go, and also they don't have. Just I'm seeing 0.
Yeah,
a 0.
So I think for them the best thing is to at this point go into the cave and just contemplate 0 and to let that continue to absorb them into that Pada Brahman that is.
And that sounds just right.
Yeah. So we'll put him over by there and let him continue to contemplate the deeper things.
It's a good place to do it.
It's a good place, yeah. The crystal cave's a great place to be in there.
I'd jump into that thing, I tell you. It looks good in there. And I'm sure the energy is lovely right now, kind of like a refreshment.
Yeah.
You can feel it there. So, next, we do have a little clear little rock there. That's nice. Let's see. Thomas something, came from light like a comet, I don't know. Thomas. So Thomas, what questions do you have for us today? He's a spiritual man, spiritual energy. It can move like a comet. But let's see what questions. Something about maybe again, I'm seeing the books, maybe something about the scriptures. I don't know if it has to do with the Bible or, maybe. Because I did get a little image of that that same kind of robes, like a friar. And I don't know if that was his, but it's maybe his way of saying that, the Bible. To kind of, and so let's see, what questions do you have?
Or maybe he has a comment, not a question. Do you have a comment on the Bible, or do you have something else to say about that to bring forward?
Okay. Yeah. I see the book, and then I'm hearing fragrance. Like the Bible open, and then I'm hearing like fragrance. Maybe he hasn't gotten to the full. Let me ask if that's correct. Have you not, gotten the full? I don't want to use the word embodiment. I guess maybe.
I'm wondering, is this Thomas that there's a book that Thomas wrote? There's a book of Thomas that was in the Essene, the Nag Hammadi. I think it's Nag Hammadi's.
I'm not getting recognition with that so much. But I don't, I can, just see that. His energy there. Fragrance. Kind of tricky to decipher this one. Let's say he has a question, and he's saying fragrance in the book, and oh boy, I'm not getting too much fragrance. How does he bring that into him more?
Yeah, the fragrance of the Bible.
Saying yes, and I just see a fragrance coming from this book, and almost saying how.
Okay, I think the best thing for this soul then is if he talks to Christ directly.
Okay.
Better to.
It's always right from the source.
Yes, you hear it from the source.
And I do see like a comet image. Again, that's what he's reflecting back.
Right.
I think he's a pretty, open, playful, I don't know. But anyway, and so to bring the Christ image.
Yeah, we're asking that the Christ come and to open that wisdom to this soul.
And it did stop him. I mean, he was zooming around.
Yeah.
He's boom. And then there's that image of Christ, and he has just stopped him there. I think there was a lot of movement. So he's at Christ's feet, and Christ has the Holy, but like holding it, kind of like coming, not the intellectual, but the coming with his energy through that book to him.
Right.
It's being transmitted that way.
Right.
Immediately.
Right.
And the energy's there.
If you want to know it, then go to the source of the best part of it.
Geez, what could be better than that?
Let that be transmitted absolutely with clarity.
And that's happening now. It's a beautiful image, actually, and his light is there. It just stopped him. He's at Christ's feet. That's coming through to him, and that's the image that.
That's all you have to do. Just ask Christ to reveal it to him.
Yeah.
That's all.
Geez, boy, that's a simple thing, and it really made such a huge difference. So it's almost, maybe he didn't know. Maybe some just don't know.
Yeah.
Sounds like.
Yeah, I think they just don't know that they can ask, Christ directly, especially in that plane of existence. I mean, to be revealed to them rather than just, oh, there's this book and this and that. Because the book has gotten, twisted and turned. A lot of passages are not correct. So it's best to just get it from Christ directly, the message. Yeah. And then you really get the fragrance of the book.
No doubt. So he's just still with that, and that's the imagery, and we'll just move quite
because
good
a lot
hands.
of the books of the Bible are not that great. They are coming from the authors writing from the men that were living at that era, and it's their take on it, their take on Christ's message. It's kind of like their ideas about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense.
Not always the most enlightened, but they had their own take and spin on it.
So
and,
it can get twisted so easily.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things in there that are kind of not of the highest caliber, not on the same thing as what Christ was saying. Like Christ never had a problem with women. They were just as equal as men. But then you have Paul, Saul of Tarsus, that, come in and women need to be silent in church and this and that and all this other nonsense. So that was his take, and he's still in his own notions and hasn't broken through, is not enlightened. And so you get a lot of that type of commentary in the Bible as well.
Yeah, so it's just, hard. Like you can see how if someone has some confusion or whatever, how that can get, things could get so twisted.
Right.
It's not,
so, all the book was not written by enlightened souls. A lot of them were in the midst of their own journey, and it was their, putting down their ideas about things and etc. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of really good things in the Bible. If you read the words of Christ, then it's excellent.
Unbelievable, I think. So good.
Beautiful. Yeah, there's a lot of good things in the Psalms and a lot of things in a lot of the Bible. But then again, there's a lot of it that's like stoning and this and that in the Old Testament things, which are they need to be discarded. So anyway, we'll leave that at there for now.
Well, Thomas is in good hands.
So Thomas is in great hands now. We will leave Thomas and Christ to commune for a while. So that's great.
All right. So next, this one. Right, let's see. I'm hearing Kali, and that seems to be the foremost. Kali clarity or Kali. It sounds like they're having that kind of cutting going on.
That's good.
Yeah.
Is there something we can help with?
They want more cutting. They want to continue with that cutting, and they know that that's something, that you embody that energy and that piercing and
we'll let them go ahead and have the morning mantras, the calling mantras, and I think there's someone on the other side that can give those.
Yeah, that's coming now for that week. That can happen there, and they want to say that's what they were hoping you would say. That's exactly what they wanted.
So we're happy to have Kali aid with that, and I'm sure that Kali can show up directly in the many manifestations,
which is a good thing.
And they will get more than they bargained for with that.
Well,
So maybe may all the manifestations of Kali appear and give these specific mantras.
Nice.
Yeah.
I do kind of hear El and Durga or something. So
yeah.
They're ready.
They're all coming. Yeah. All the manifestations will be there, and you will have more cutting power than you know what to do with.
That's what we asked for, but that's all right, because, the mantra's there, and those are grounding, and so all good. All right.
Okay, thank you. Namaste.
Namaste. Okay, next, a little heart. This one, and right away I'm hearing power of healing. Maybe they want to be a healer.
Mm-hmm.
Power of healing. How do they get power to heal?
Mm-hmm.
They want some power. I mean, I don't know. We could explore that a little more. That would be a good question.
Are you ready to take the whole of the journey to realization?
I don't think so. They are. I don't think so. They just
then no. Then you're not ready
Reiki, power healing.
Yeah, no. Then you're not ready.
And those what they do with Reiki, what are those things?
Those symbols and stuff. No, I'm not giving you those symbols. No, I'm not going to give you those symbols because that's.
They really give me those.
Yep. Nope.
Heal.
I'm not going to do that because that's not true healing. It's not the ultimate. If you really want to be a healer, you'd be ready to go all the path, all the way through Kundalini and finish the path in realization, and then you're in stillness, and then you can bring the body into harmony. But the ones that are doing the Reiki are not doing that. That's coming from ego, and they can still have some of their own spin in there, and it's not always beneficial. So no, sorry.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, they're going
off they go and to find whatever they need somewhere else.
Yeah, but no, we're not doing that. If you want to be a real healer, you have to be ready to make the whole of the journey, and if not, then you're on an ego trip.
Gimme, and I'm gonna,
Yeah, no, they're on an ego trip, and I'm not going to support that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, boy. So pretty with the spiral in there. So, so they're on their way. Am I even putting my hand up? I can't even see them. Yeah, they're on their way, and it's just like here, Pete. That's the way. We've seen that a lot, and that is not going to, bring people balance. And they need to find balance in their
right. They're not balanced to begin with, and they're on that power trip, ego trip, and we're not going to support that here. I'm just sorry, no.
Yeah, and that's the end of that. That's the end of that.
That's it.
It's not what we do here.
The answer is no.
Go on your way and do what you need to do elsewhere. So. Okay.
Moving right along.
Just teach me, I'm kind of hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Teach me. I would like to be a student on your path.
Mm-hmm.
Can I be a student on your path, the Kundalini path?
Yeah, and you're welcome to be a student. It's just a little difficult since they're not informed, but I'm sure that there are a few there on the other side that have been following this path. They can maybe start to aid them in that journey.
Right.
Yeah, so ask if there are some masters there that know this path that could aid them with that.
That energy is building there. I know there are some. There was another one that came that was on the path. And the masters, they can help.
Yeah, they can help to translate.
Mm-hmm. They're there to help. Yeah. I really feel that they're there to help. I can feel that there, and that just, yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So they will aid you on starting this journey.
So grateful.
Yeah. I must say thank you for coming.
Okay, we got another heart. I love all these clear stones. They're so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
I died. I died.
Mm-hmm.
I died.
Well, you didn't die. The body. You dropped the body.
I don't think they quite. I think.
Yeah.
I died, and that was. I think they're with that death, that death experience.
Mm-hmm.
I died. I just keep hearing that.
Mm-hmm.
I died, and.
Are you aware of yourself?
They are, yeah.
Then you didn't die. If you're aware of yourself, you can't be dead.
Wow.
You've passed out of the body for another realm, but you're not dead.
Sounds so crazy, but So what died in me? What died?
Nothing died in you. Nothing died in you. Just the body. The body was no longer able to sustain that form and that spirit.
That wasn't me. I died.
No,
I can see them kind of. They were looking at their body.
At the body, right? But you are not that body. If you were that body, you would have no awareness now.
Oh gosh! I could see them looking at that body, kind of hovering, and they see that death, and that was they died, and they feel it, and
you have
they're trying to hear, but they're not able to.
You have to let go of the body, and to be able to move forward, go into that light. You have to go into that light.
But then I'll die again.
No, you won't die again. No.
I'll die again and again.
No, you won't die again and again. If you make the journey and you find out what's at the center of your being, it's the life of all life and the death of all death. Be willing to make that journey to find out what gives life to you, where that life comes from, what that life is.
Is that some kind of death, they're saying?
No, it's an eternity. It's the eternal. Eternal is. Eternal life.
Would I still be myself? Would I still...
You'll be yourself minus all the stories you've created. You'll be in the pure self minus the stories, minus the drama.
I want to hear them saying "I died," but it's getting quieter. That sound
quieter.
Of "I died," you know.
So at this point in time, you have to be willing to let go of the body and be able to move into the light. There should be someone that has passed that can come for you and can help move you through the light.
You feel kind of some energy there, for like a light energy there, and then I don't know if it's someone they knew before, if it's some, I can't say, but it's by that soul,
right?
And they're kind of still, I died, kind of thing. But
yeah, no, you haven't died. You wouldn't be aware of anything if you were dead.
Yeah.
Right? You've shed the old body, that's all. You've shed that body and you'll go on to new experience. So, but you have to be willing to go into the light and pass into the other realms, or else you'll become a ghost form and will be stuck.
And they go, no, I don't want that.
Yeah, don't be a ghost form and be stuck. So be willing to move into the light and move forward in your journey.
Sounds like they're opening. They're definitely contemplating and trying to just, rest with what's there. That light is there. And that's really all I can say right now, so maybe just let that
let that light help and pull them through, because they have to walk through that tunnel and that light, into that light.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think I think they're just still stuck with that.
Mm-hmm.
That, whatever imagery was there.
Mm-hmm.
you know, they do want to say, I am still me. You're right.
Right.
I'm still.
You're still
I am
you.
here still.
You're
I'm
still
me.
here. Yes, you're still aware.
I'm
So
me.
therefore, you're still you. Right. That body was not you. That body is just a vehicle. Like you get into your car, you get out of your car, the car takes you someplace, and then that's it. It's a vehicle like a car, but you're the driver. Okay. So you just stepped out of another car.
Yeah, they're listening. You know, it'll be okay. It's just going to take time, and the other energy is quite present there.
Good. So that we'll leave them to that other energy, and they will take care of you and help you go into the light, so you can do a life review and go forward.
Right. I mean, take care of whatever needed to be taken care of to help them to clear and move forward. Right. Sense.
They have to just let go of that body and be willing to move forward, so they don't stay stuck there.
No, they're in good hands. They're in good hands.
So we will leave them with that. Namaste.
Namaste. Okay, next. We got 2 more sitting here waiting patiently. The next one. It's so pretty. I love those purple ones. And this sounds crazy, but then I hear, I didn't die, I want to die. Does that make sense? Didn't die, I want to die.
Okay.
I want to die in a good way, though.
In a good way.
I mean, what is death in a good way, I guess? A little, I don't know. I'm just getting a little. I want to enter the gates of heaven.
Right.
I want to go to heaven.
You want to go to the heavenly realms, or do you want to go to God directly?
Heaven. I want to be in heaven, where it's, I think, just a pleasant land, like kind of those locusts, maybe, that we were talking about, a pleasant land where I think they still want to shed that off, but they want to go.
They want to go to the locusts. And where are you now?
A little shadowy place, maybe.
In a shadowy place.
I don't know. I don't want to totally say that. I think it's just
it is.
Not in that.
Not
there.
They're not there. Yeah. Right. And what was your path while you were in existence?
And again, right away, I'm getting some third eye stuff. Like maybe they did some envisioning of these things. Maybe in a lot of vision things, like with third eye.
So they really don't have a thing. Were you connected with Krishna or any of Shiva or?
Just the realms, like
just the
traveling,
realms.
Maybe some traveling psychically, or you know how what people do. I think it's kind of ungrounded.
And then then they get stuck. That's why I said you don't do third eye meditations. They're not really connected with any kind of a God energy or any.
That's what I feel with this one.
No type of a God energy. So then when they pass, they're just in no man's land, so to speak, trapped between the realms. They're trapped between the realms.
So what to do with the soul? Needing some anchoring, I would say.
Yeah, they need to have some. Let me just sit with it for a minute and see. I would ask maybe Shiva to come in.
Okay.
So if you could say Om Namah Shivaya.
And it is making that link a little bit with Shiva as that mantra's being said. And
Om Namah Shivaya.
I can feel that.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Yeah, I think it's linking those energies.
Mm. So we'll just ask Shiva to come in and to help to ground him and help to get him started on a path and explain to him why you don't do that.
Yeah, because
travel to those all those realms and do that.
And that's not necessarily the best for that soul to, you can't just say, oh, okay, sure, you can go to this other realm. And
no.
That's not what we're here to do.
No.
So that, it was quieter. I'm not getting much more right now, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll let him go ahead and open the door to Shiva, and Shiva can help to take him to one of the lokas and stabilize him and put him on a path.
Right, makes sense. And because those lokas they're like temporary too.
They're temporary too, but he can't gain entrance into the lokas like Krishna or something. You have to have enough merit in order to go there.
And so that might take some time.
Yes, he has to come back into embodiment. He can't just go there at this present time. I'm sorry, each realm has their own stipulations.
It's true though. It's exactly
how to gain entrance. If you
can't
don't
just
have,
say I want to go.
You can't just travel. And usually people, when they pass, they go to whatever their concept of heaven or whatever is. But this person obviously doesn't have any. He's just traveled to different realms and doesn't really have any core beliefs.
No grounding, no center point.
No center point to draw him to that place. He's very ungrounded. So
I just want you to snap your fingers, and he goes where to that.
Yeah, it's no. Well, he's finding out a hard lesson that's not the way to travel.
Yeah.
Not just to do out-of-body experiences without having a guru or without having grounding, without having some mooring somewhere, because you just get yourself in some, as you can see, a precarious place.
Yeah.
He's in kind of no man's land at the moment, so yeah.
Well, this is, he's in, again, another one in good hands, so.
Yeah, so we will leave him with Shiva.
Our last one, last but not least. Something popped up, mental confusion.
Mm-hmm.
Mental confusion, let's see. Kind of turmoil.
Turmoil from what?
And seeing some tears. Oh gosh. I think there, again, these things, just my feeling is that there was some kind of bond that, or attachment.
Mm-hmm.
And otherwise it's not fully clear to me where that confusion's coming from. Kind of stormy,
Mm-hmm.
Clouded. Let me ask. Coming from dishonoring something.
What was dishonored?
I don't know if it was his master. Something was not honored, and he should have honored it. He should have honored it, and it's getting a little clearer that maybe it was a teacher.
Oh, that he dishonored his teacher?
Yes. Yes. somehow, maybe, I don't think a really mean thing. I think it was just more didn't walk whatever, didn't take the direction to heart really, and really just took it, there, and I almost, I'm just gonna still play maybe, or
I'll do my own thing.
Yeah.
If I like it, I'll listen. If I don't, I'm not going to. So.
And that's what he's
Pick and
saying.
Choose.
That's what
Pick
he's
and
saying.
Choose. Pick and choose.
I don't. Again, he's not a bad person. He just didn't take it. He didn't really. He wanted to live his own life still.
Right.
And,
Do you get the name of his teacher? Do you get a name of his teacher?
Master something, and I'm just not getting master. Yeah, I'm just kind of hearing master man or master. I don't. I'm not getting a name.
Ask him. He can call that master. He can call that master to his heart now.
And I see, man sitting in a lotus position in his heart. It's there.
And then he can, ask to go forward, and that if he would give him another chance in another existence to go forward.
He's afraid Master be mad at me.
No, Master won't be mad at you.
Master burned me so sharp. He's so strong. He'd be mad.
That's okay. Maybe you need to have the sword of truth a little bit.
Oh, Master be mad at me. He does it with love, but it's sharp. It burns. Ow.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
Master's words like fire.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you got to take your medicine. That's the way it is.
Master has fire in him. But he does have him in his heart. He is scared, that he will be, I guess, not really scolded, but, given a talking to.
Yeah. And, well, you
told
need
it like it is.
You will be told like it is, I'm sure.
And he's kind of hearing that, he's feeling that master's energy. It is sharp.
Yeah.
And he's no joke, this master. He's not joking around.
Yeah.
And he's giving him a talking to.
Yeah. That's what happens.
You did this.
Hey, I told you my master slammed me, and I couldn't speak for a number of days, and that happens. But it's what you need to hear, and later you understand that that's the best that could have happened. Right. And you're grateful for it later, but it's not fun at the time.
And he's saying, it's hurting, and not in a bad way. I mean, I should have, and he's getting that stuff, but he's still hearing his master. He's glad his master's with him, and he could have another chance. He loves his master, and he didn't take it serious. He probably even did some things he shouldn't have done in the background with whatever it was. I don't know.
Exactly.
Not in any, like I say, horrid way. Just not serious.
Not serious. Yeah. Exactly.
And he feels like he's dishonored the teachings by that in him. I don't know all the real details. I could, but that I don't think it matters.
We don't need to know all of that.
It's just the feeling, and but his master is with him now, giving him a talking to. Yeah. And he knows he needs to do this part to go on. Right. He has to kind of face.
He has to own up to it.
Right.
He has to 100%.
Face the music.
Exactly. Face the music. Face the music, and own up to it, and then sincerely be ready to go forward. Yeah. Because no master is constrained. They have to work with you.
Right.
We don't have to.
That's right.
Don't have to if you are not going to listen. So my guidance to this is this time be sincere and be willing to go the whole way. Don't make this mistake again.
Yeah, and he's saying, this hurts so much. I will never. And I have regrets. Yeah. To say, and it just, this has really played on his mind, and he feels he doesn't want to do that again. Yeah. So he kind of wants to be united with his master.
Just stay with that master for now and get ready for another rebirth and be ready to come in and do what you need to do to go forward. That's all. And honor the master the next time around. Yeah.
And Master be with me. Say, Master be with me.
Yeah.
Master is in my heart. So.
Yeah, the Master will be with you.
Yeah. Master came right to him, man.
Exactly.
No problem.
Exactly. When when you open up to that and there's that sincerity that, absolutely 100% the Master will come back and will, but if you're playing and you close the door yourself, nothing can be done.
You have free will like that. You can shut out what you shut out, and you can kind of, I guess, play games with yourself, but you're doing that to yourself. And
you do that to yourself. Yeah. The Master's always wanting to help, when you're coming in sincerity. But if you're playing games and you're, again, and he played games during life and didn't follow through on what he was supposed to follow through, and then he had that fear. But a Master can't go beyond that. You shut the door yourself. So you got to reopen the door and take your medicine.
And that's exactly what is happening now for him.
Yeah.
It'll be good.
He will survive it.
Oh, absolutely.
He will survive it, and we'll go forward.
And all is well. And I could still see that Master sitting in his heart, and he's with his Master. So he's taking whatever lessons he needs to take. Enjoy
your lessons. Be willing to come forward again.
He's okay. He doesn't look happy. I don't see a happy face on him.
No, he's not going to be happy for a while.
Too, but that's okay.
Neither is going to be happy for a while. But yeah, give him an earful.
Yeah, that's exactly. And he doesn't look happy. He's, but it's good. It'll be good. He'll move forward.
In the end, it's very beneficial. But in the moment, it's going to be a little stinging there.
Yeah. That's how it works. Yeah. What can we say?
He's getting his spanking, so to speak.
That's exactly what's happening.
Getting his spiritual spanking, so, I don't know what to say.
It hurts, but it will be the best thing for him.
Yeah, exactly. So on that note...
We don't know what's going to happen here. Okay.
We never know who's going to come through. We've had a lot of interesting ones again come through today. A few we had to send on their way.
Yeah, but that's working out too, and we're getting that work done.
Well, it's just like, satsang on earth when people come. If somebody's coming and they're not coming for something beneficial, you have to show them the door and just say, no.
Right, it's the same
Absolutely thing. Not. But we're not here to cater to egos and demands and this and that. We're here to aid those who sincerely want to go forward. So that's it.
Yep.
So on that note, namaste. Thank you for visiting. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday.
Bye.
Bye.